What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another RaidShadowLegends video. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you may be. It has been a good weekend for me. I'm recording this on a Sunday during right before Plat Reset, I should say, and we just had a bunch of Black Friday deals. Oh, the shards, so many shards, so many soul stones. I would say overall the deals felt like they were okay this year. Maybe some like decent ones. Maybe some that were a little bit better than a couple years ago, but also some that like weren't, right? I don't know. What do you think? Did you guys buy a bunch of shards? Did you whale out? Did you pull some sick champions? I had a couple of some good pulls off stream, just, minor stuff. But we're not talking about pulls today. We're talking about a mythical champion, my very first mythical showcase. And I had to pick my girl Gharol, because let me tell you guys, don't sleep on Gharol. This champion is filthy. I use her in live arena all the time. She is just way better, I think, than people realize. So we're going to do a showcase on her. Take a look at what she's capable of putting out. Mine is a +1 Gharol. As you can see here, look at the power level on these mythicals. Oh, my goodness, that is naughty. That's double form power right there. But before we get into how I build her, let's take a look first and foremost at her skills. So obviously we've got two forms here. We've got the first form and the second form. I've built her really for where the second form is what we're going to look at mainly, because that's frankly, in my opinion, where most of her damage comes from and what makes her so special. We'll take a quick glance at the main form and just read the skills off. So Foe Crusher attacks one enemy, 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on the target by 2 turns. Also removes any shield buffs. I mean, that's a pretty good A1, and the ability to ignore resistance. So if you build her with some accuracy in her main form, you can kind of mess people up with that percentage chance to increase cooldown and also stripping some shield buffs. Then we've got the Hammer Quake, attacks all enemies, places a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Also places an unkillable buff on this champion for 3 turns. Now this is a massive part of her kit, because you can start her off in this form and put up this unkillable for 3 turns and then switch her into the second form to do all of her damage. And that's very important, and you'll see in a second why when we get to that second form, why this is such a good synergistic skill. Again, I haven't built her for damage in this form because this form is based off of, you can see, HP. But this skill really synergizes well with her second form. Then we've got Bonded by Blood, removes block buffs, debuffs from all allies, and places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places a shield buff on all allies equal to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. This is a good kit. I mean, this is objectively a good kit. You can use her in conjunction with Taurus here, and possibly cleanse off of block buffs to make him viable for putting up buffs, or even cleanse herself. I mean, this, really impressive. I think one of the hardest things about mythical champions when I look at them, and one of the biggest drawbacks is, and this is a great example, her first form is HP based, her second form is attack based. They don't really mix in terms of, if you're building her for HP damage and HP, survivability, you're sacrificing attack, you're sacrificing crit damage, crit rate, all of these things. So one of the things I'd like to see Plarium do, and maybe you guys might disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below, but I kind of want to see them allow you to build artifacts for each version of the champion. Maybe that makes them too powerful, maybe it's too OP, I don't know, but as it stands right now, a lot of the mythical champions don't make sense from a gearing perspective for both of their forms, and that really applies to this champion for sure, because I would love to have her more survivable in her first form and harder hitting in her first form, and not have to sacrifice all of that just to make her second form viable. Sorry, I'm a little sick, by the way. You might hear it in my voice. Okay, then we've got her metamorph ability. You can transform. Now, the great thing about this is this can't be locked out. So mythical champions are a really good alternative or a good counter to lockout champions. And then finally, her passive in this form, and this is really cool. When attacked, decreases the duration of all buffs in the attacker by 1 turn, occurs once per hit, also heals all allies except this champion by 50% of the damage taken whenever this champion is a hit, occurs once per hit. Again, I think this is actually a really cool, really solid kit This makes her a good counter in the arena potentially for Helicath if you build her with accuracy. Keep in mind, all of this stuff, the landing of Provoke, this all requires accuracy. And again, if you're building with accuracy, you're sacrificing damage. Let's get to her secondary form, because this is really the meat and potatoes, in my opinion, what makes her so scary in the arena. And frankly, maybe the hardest hitting nuker of the entire game. I don't know. I mean, she really can obliterate teams. It is insane what I've seen her do. All right, now we got her attack-based form. She gets all naughty, little more skin showing, a fiery hammer. Is it actually more skin, or am I just imagining this? Did I just get excited by the big fiery hammer? Yeah, maybe a little more. I don't know. None of this really matters. Yeah, sure, a little bit more. Yeah, more skin, more power. Okay, let's take a look at our kit here. 1, Magma Slam. Attacks all enemies, has a 20% chance of repeating the attack. This is like Fu Shan's attack on steroids, guys. I have seen Gharol with her A1 literally kill an entire team, repeating her Magma Slam 5 times in a row. This attack is bonkers, absolutely bonkers strong. But it's not even her hardest hitting ability. This thing right here, Calamitous Maul, this is nuts. Attacks all enemies, damage of the skill increases by 10% for each buff on this champion. 10% for each buff. You could hypothetically get like 6, 7, 8 different buffs on her and increase her damage by 80%. And oh, by the way, it also ignores 30% of the target's defense, and it's an AoE. This ability, I have literally seen annihilate an entire team, including champions that are protected by Necrit and Necrit as well. I have seen it wipe out my entire team, wipe out an enemy team. I am not joking when I say that I think this is the hardest, or one of the absolute hardest hitting abilities in the entire game, assuming you have a ton of buffs on her, assuming you proc Helm Smasher and you have her in Savage, and oh, by the way, assuming this passive comes into play. Not this part. Whenever an ally attacks this champion, there's a 25% chance to team up with them and join their attack. Again, also freaking insane and broken, because if you have a Duchess hit somebody, she might jump in with this AoE and do insane damage and repeat the attack and kill everybody. But it's this part right here. She's got Leorius's passive, essentially. Damage increases as the champion's HP decreases by 1% for every 1% of HP loss. So guys, you can make her, if she's at 1 HP, and again, remember, she has this unkillable thing here where you might have her take a bunch of damage in a fight, but she doesn't die, and she does that to herself. She can literally destroy an entire enemy team by herself if she's at 1 HP and drops this nuke on them. And I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen, and it is filthy, filthy strong. So anyway, super cool kid. And then also we got her ability to change back. Really, really, really cool champion. I mean, good. Okay, she used to be, I think, a little bit lower rated. This is 100% where she should be. Her arena offense, and honestly, I would even say potentially arena defense, 100% for me, a 5-star. Absolutely. I've got her in Lightning Cage. I think this makes sense just from the perspective of being able to maybe protect that unkillable buff when you get that up, protect her other buffs from people stripping, from like a Night Queen Crixia. And then, of course, obviously, you get additional benefits to her stats, even above and beyond legendaries, because of the fact that she's a mythical. Let's take a look at how I've built her, and then we'll look at masteries. So I've got her in some really strong gear. I've got her in Savage, and I've got her in Killstroke. So this is like upgraded crit damage gear, essentially. But let's take a look at this. We've got her attack, we've got her speed, some crit rate. I need her to be faster, to be completely honest with you. I need her more glyph, more speed, but I'm hoping to get her 6-star awakened at some point. I think that the downside right now is you can only get 6-star mythicals out of soul stones. You can't buy them in the shop, which is a major oversight. Plarium, let us buy those in the shop, please. Don't make me have to pull 7,000 soul stones. I'm not going to do it. Like, there's a limit, you know what I mean? So let us buy that in the shop, please, and please implement that in the game soon. Here we got the Killstroke helmet, so crit damage increase plus a little bit of speed, which is nice for live arena. You can see I can glyph her up more here. Crit damage, speed, some HP percentage for survivability. All of these ascended, or these 2 ascended attack, which is great. Then we've got an attack ascension on the gloves, crit damage, crit rate, speed, Wish this were attack percentage down here. Attack percentage, HP percentage. Again, wish it were attack percentage since I'm building her mostly for the attack side of things. But it's never a bad idea to have her have more HP for that first form to be a little more survivable in case she gets Taurus nuked or gets hit by someone prior to being able to switch. And this is why you kind of need her faster than how I built her right now. I need more speed on her for sure for live arena. Then the boots, attack percentage, triple crit rate, attack percentage ascension. Oh, very nice boots. I've got her in some reaction gear again because she's a little bit slower than I'd like. So we could even make her stronger if we got better rolls. Crit damage ascension. This is really nice. And then a little blood shield banner, which this is actually not the worst thing. I wish this were reaction or even like a cooldown accessory. But blood shield, you get a potential shield, and given how much she does damage wise, that's not a bad thing. So we built her in pretty strong gear. Let's take a look at her total stats. So this is her base form. This is the HP base form. Again, this is not what we are building for. Nothing here is particularly impressive. It's not enough HP to do a bunch of damage. You'll see she still has really high attack even in this form because of the fact she's built for attack. You know, decent defense though, which keeps her alive. And again, the speed needs to be increased for sure for live arena at my level. Good crit damage though. Let's take a look at her secondary alternate form though. This is how I've actually built her for arena. So we're rocking almost 8,400 attack, 2,900 defense, still really solid HP. So she's got some meat to her bones. Easier to survive in arena sometimes. Again, needs to be faster for my level, but still really good crit damage, rocking 311. And the accuracy, I mean, this is great for polymorph, for avoiding polymorph, but I do wish I had a little bit more on her because her HP kit has some really nice things, specifically to counter Helicath, which if you've seen any of my live arena streams, is probably one of my absolute least favorite champions to face. Just an annoying champion in the meta right now since you can't strip buffs because of polymorph. But a really solid build here. Not my top gear, but pretty good gear on her. So let's take a look at her masteries quickly to give you an idea of what we're rocking there. We've got her in the offense and defense trees for some counterattacks. Pretty standard stuff. I feel like Whirlwind of Death and Cycle of Violence are kind of the way to go nowadays. I don't even think you need Ruthless Ambush, especially for this champion, because she already hits so freaking hard. If you are rocking that second form. Also, usually if you're using the unkillable thing, you're going to be hitting people anyway, so this won't matter as much. And then of course Helm Smasher, and then just pretty standard defense stuff here. So nothing too exciting, nothing too crazy there. Let's take her in for a damage test. I haven't done this yet, so I'm really curious to see how she does, and if we can get enough buffs on her to really make it apparent. So let's go to normal dragon like I always do. I was doing a little dragon farming the other day. Okay, so we got to think about how we get as many buffs on her as possible. Well, we need Arbiter, we need Sifi, more buffs there. I think we can get maybe Necrit. Yeah, Necrit maybe. And I'm going to do a secondary test as well. Yeah, let's get Necrit in here also. Let's get Gharol. We're going to do two different tests here, guys. We're going to do tests with her at full health, and then I'm going to use my Valkynon to get her to basically super low health and see how she hits when that happens. So that should be fun. So, all right, we're going to start, though, first with this. With her at full health, just see what she does. We need someone putting in decreased defense, etc. I think my Lydia is fast enough now. Oh, the only problem is if I do this, I won't be able to throw in. I want to make sure it's equal. So maybe I take the Sifi out. Maybe, you know what? We'll take the Necrit out for now. We'll take Necrit out. We'll put in the Lydia, because I don't want these to be unequal between the two. Like obviously I want her to have as many buffs as possible so that passive comes into play, but I don't want it to be something, and we'll go ahead and put the Valkynon in now. We won't use him quite yet, but we'll have him in there to kill her for the second test. Okay, there we go. We figured it out. We got it. We're doing it. Some overlap on buffs here, but that's okay. We'll make it work. As long as it's consistent between the two. Okay. we'll figure out how many buffs we get on her. Increase attack. I'm not going to bother with the unkillable buff as well, just because I don't want her to lose. Like right now, she's got a ton of buffs on her, and I don't want her to lose any of these additional buffs. So we're going to hold off on that. All right, here we go. This is full health nuke. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buffs. So she should be getting a 60% increase to her damage just right now without her having lost any health. So let's see what she does here. 557. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh, here she is jumping in on an attack. Oh, look at that. The Sifi attack, but she did too. She said, why not? I want in. 557. 557, people. Let's do this again. Hold on. Oh my God. That is insane. That is so strong. That is so strong. Let's do another one. Same exact setup, just to see if maybe we procced Helm Smasher or didn't proc Helm Smasher. But good God, that hits like an absolute freight train. For me, I think that's one of the highest damage numbers I have personally seen on a champion that I have tested. I know that there have been higher, I'm sure, like Kitus or other specific setups, but we haven't even done her at 0 HP. So we're going to see what she can do if we get her down to 0 HP and I make that work. All right, let's go back in. Let's do another same thing. I kind of want to hit with the A1 as well after this. Let's just nuke again. Let's see what we got. 529. Ooh. I mean, she's so disgusting. She's disgusting. She's absolutely disgusting. This champion is just filthy. All right, let's go back again. Let's test her. Actually, let's do her A1 now with all the buffs. Because again, she's getting, does she get damage? Hold on. Does she get damage increase from that, or am I just making that up? Hold on, let me see here. I can't remember. I can't remember if she gets a damage increase from that or not. So I just want to make sure that we double check. I've already forgotten how her passive works. Hold on, I think she doesn't. Does she get a damage increase on that? No, just, okay, only on this. So only on this. But we'll go ahead and we'll just hit with the A1 on this and see what she does. So this A1. Oh, 144. Not bad at all. All right. Now, let's do a test where we get her down to 1 HP. Let's see, or close to 1 HP. I guess technically not all the way. Let's see how we're going to do this. I think it makes sense not to buff anything yet. So we don't buff anything. I don't even know if we throw this out, do we? Do we throw this out? Because Valken's going to kill her. I think we do. I think we can throw this out. Well, no, because then we're not going to get the strengthen. But that's all right. Hold on. Target an ally. Okay, she's dead. Now we res her up. We give her a crit rate buff. So that actually helps there. We give her the crit rate buff. We're not going to use Valken and stuff right now. We need to get back to Sifi. We're not going to get around to it in time, I think. We're going to lose all those buffs. This is so tricky. I'm trying so hard to make this work. We'll throw up an unkillable for right now. Yeah, so it doesn't do a ton of damage as we can see, but we want to try to get her to 6 buffs, ideally, so it's an equal test. We might not be able to, but I'm trying here. I'm trying because she's still got a lot more health. So this didn't even kind of work the way I wanted it to, unfortunately. Hold on. This might be completely pointless, but I need you to understand the level of damage she does when she is at 1 HP, because it is truly, truly insane. All right, let's see how many buffs she ends up getting here. She hasn't really lost that much HP. This is kind of pointless. Whatever. Let's just nuke. Yeah, it ended up being less because we couldn't get her. We couldn't get enough buffs on her. We lost a bunch of buffs there. Is there a way for me to do this to keep all the buffs on? Let me think about this. Is there a way if I kill her, she loses all the buffs, she's not going to get back around? I don't know. Maybe I can do it in arena. Let's take her into classic arena and see if we can do it in there. I would take her into live, but honestly, the problem is she gets banned, frankly, a lot of the time. Now, this is like plat reset, by the way. So we are at the absolute apex of teams at the moment. We're in plat. We're not super high up, as you can see, only 180. But we are on Sunday night when everyone's got there, or Monday morning if you're in Europe or somewhere else around the world. But this is when everyone has their best teams up. So let's see what we can do with our combat tips out of my way. We'll put the Sethi in here. We'll put the Arbiter. We'll put... We need kind of... We don't really technically need her. We don't technically need her to have... See if we can do it without any kind of cooldown stuff. Let's just... Or without any kind of locking somebody out. So we can get some more buffs on her, basically. Because, again, she's a mythical. She can't get locked out of that second form. And realistically, that's the most important thing. So she's going to have a lot of buffs on her here. Let's see what she does. Now, this is a bad affinity matchup because of the Rhodos. And also, Rhodos, I would say, is probably her overall just biggest counter, because she has an ability to trigger his passive with how strong she nukes and the fact that they're only one hit. Like, unless you get lucky and her A1 repeats over and over and over again, you can be in kind of a tricky situation when you're facing a Rhodos. All right, we're gonna protect. We'll protect this. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't matter who we sleep. Boo boo. Okay, can we get to her turn? She doesn't die. All right. Beautiful thing about mythicals, you can't take away. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buffs on her. 8 buffs. She is full health. Boom, baby. Go to sleep. Sit down and don't wake up. Go to bed. I mean, good God, just cuts through everything. Now, this isn't necessarily a super tanky team. We'll see if we can find some super tanky teams, but look at this. I mean, oh, she just hits so freaking hard. Hits so hard. Just blasting through a Sethi is always so much fun. And there's like a double right there. Obviously, she's joining in. She's getting multiple attacks. Here she is triggering her passive, just pounding away like a vicious animal. Say goodnight. Over. Yes, let's find a real tanky team. I would say the hardest teams for her to face, without a doubt, are going to be the Marichka Taurus teams, just like everything else, because of Taurus's passive, which makes it really hard to use, really hard to use attack-based champions. Oof, this is... I don't know if we survived this, frankly. A double Taurus nuke? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see what we can do. We don't even... I mean, normally we would absolutely be locking out the Taurus Marichka combo here, and this might absolutely fail. Very, very possible that this does fail, but let's find out. Okay, she got her turn first. We've got all the buffs. She is full health, which is a bummer. We can't kill, obviously, the Marichka. Can we kill the Sethi, the Taurus? Well, we definitely killed the Sethi. It did pretty good damage to the Taurus as well. Oof. The nuke. The Taurus nuke. This is like 100% what they've got to work on, is how broken these champions are. They're still super broken. So this is where you see her really get into trouble, right? This is where she gets into trouble. It's why you have to essentially have a lockout still if you're facing Taurus Marichka teams, because if you don't, this is what happens, right? Let me see if I can get a buff on her, keep her alive. No, the answer is no. Well, you get the idea, though. I mean, again, like, we got to build it where the lockout in. If you don't lock them out, you're pretty much asking to be obliterated. It just goes to show, right? Like, they release these mythicals, and this champion is sick, but these champions are still absurdly broken. And we are now coming on a year of them refusing to balance or nerf or adjust them in any way, shape, or form at all whatsoever. It makes zero sense. We can actually go with Warlord here to get some more buffs. It makes zero sense that they will not address how overpowered this duo is. You know, what can you say? What can you say? All right, we can do some different things here now, though. Warlord we've got in the stone skin. So now we lock everybody out. She got cleansed by the Sifi. So this is actually great. So we can kind of show here what happens when she's at absolute minimal health. Minimal health here. So let's see what she can do. She can't get put to sleep, thankfully, because of the Sifi. I don't want to actually heal her, so I'm going to leave that off. She'll lose some buffs, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't have the ability to throw buffs back up. She's going to lose some buffs, but she's gaining more damage, I think, just from the low health. Boom. Still nukes hard. Well, now she's stunned. Tarsh and Marichka are so freaking broken. Oh, my God. Now she's stunned for 2 turns. She might not get back around, frankly, because of the stun. I'd like for her to kill this team, just so you can see. She is legitimately fantastic. I would say she is better in live arena than she is in classic arena because of your ability to control for this kind of stuff. Like, the beautiful thing about live arena, and frankly why I don't even play classic arena anymore, is because of these teams. Well, there's actually a bigger reason than that, which I'm sure I'll do a video on at some point. But realistically, classic arena kind of just sucks. Like, it's not fun anymore, and Plarium refuses to improve it whatsoever. She really is much better at live arena. But you can use her in classic arena, provided you are supporting her against the correct teams, aka not trying to take her against Taurus and Marichka. I do think it's still a really tough fight because she is attack based off Taurus's passive, and based off the fact that you kind of need to have a lockout. Let's try one more Taurus and Marichka team here. Let's try a different one with Krisk. That's weird. We'll try this one here. This also has a Duchess. We'll do, instead of Sifi, we will do the Nekrit to keep her alive a little bit longer and see if we can actually win the battle here. Should be fast enough. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Such a sick champion, though. Like, of all the mythicals, she is by far one of the best. There's a couple that are really solid, and she is absolutely in that conversation for sure. What can I say? You know what I mean? Like, we'll go ahead. We'll do this. We'll get her a little bit lower HP. Perfect. She's losing her increased attack, though. I shouldn't even bother. Should have just... This is the one downside. If you don't have three, like if you get it like lucky where Arbiter or whatever else is putting your increased attack and it lasts for 3 turns, you lose that. So you lose a lot of damage. Again, kind of a folly when it comes to working with mythicals, is a lot of champions don't make sense with them from the perspective of, like, their kits don't really align. But still, you can see she still hits really hard. That's her A1 doing that kind of damage, right? Jumping in there and just pounding with the A1. Again, I do think she is better suited for live arena at this point, because of how broken these champions are. But it's not like she's not viable, right? It's not like she's not 100% viable. You can definitely still do stuff with her, especially in this kind of situation where you're just coming in there and nuking and going nuts. And there we go. Clear him out. And that's with the Duchess blocking AoE damage. So that's not bad. It's not bad. Basically, if you pull her, I think you will be very happy. But I do think overall, Mythicals need a slight buff, in my opinion, from the perspective of you need to be able to build their separate forms with different gear sets. This champion, if you could have HP base, I mean, there she goes, double hitting right there. Awesome. But if you could have HP based gear on her for her first form and attack based gear on her for her second form, then you're really talking about something worth writing home for, right? Again, I think she is really, really, really good. I think she has the ability to nuke extremely hard. Keep in mind, this is only a +1 Gharol, right? +1, not +3 or +4 or whatever else. Not fully awakened like some of my strongest champions are. But you can see the potential there. There is definitely a lot of potential, especially if Plarium makes some slight adjustments. And also if Plarium finally decides to nerf Taurus and Marichka. Hey, Plarium, it's been a year. Maybe you should finally nerf them. Just a thought. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this showcase. It is my birthday week this week. If you got this far, yeah, I just wanted to let you know that. So we're going to do some fun streams, and I'll talk about that in other videos. But yeah, the big birthday week coming up. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the showcase. If you pull a Gharol, congratulations. Now you know how to build her. Build her for that second form because that's where she does work. All right, guys, I will see you later. Big Papa Drock out.